Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file. Abbott Diabetes Care. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
Craven the Hunter, who uses all the methods of the animals.
This Thursday, witness the making of a new Marvel villain.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is Craven the Hunter. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, good morning. Buenos tardes, buenas noches, buenos dias here from LA, San Diego from Mark, the New Jersey, New York, Strong Island, where Paul is at there. Gentlemen, how you doing? Rams Nation, how you doing? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, ready to go. 49er week. Pretty exciting.
We got to buckle up and get ready to play ball, right? But real quick, Rams Nation tuning in. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, share this video with all your fellow Rams fans and any football fans out there. We really appreciate it. Helps the algorithm out. Helps other Rams football fans see this video. But with that said, gentlemen, before we get to that big Niner week, seeing that red and gold, I'm tired of seeing those colors. I know it's in my background, but I'm ready to be done with them very soon. Let's hand out some game balls with that barn-burning game that we really enjoyed seeing on Sunday afternoon with the Rams. I mean, that 44-42 victory. So, Rams Nation, we've all rewatched the game probably many and many times. We have here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. And, Mark, we'll start with you. Who do you want to give a game ball to after you digested this game fully after a couple days?
Yeah, well, I went through the play-by-play, as I do after every game, putting together the follow-up pod. Try to highlight the big plays and, the key plays on each drive. And there were a lot of eventful drives, and it kept on popping up. Third down, completion to Puka. Third down, completion to Puka. Third down, completion to Puka. There must have been 6 or 7 third down conversions to Puka. And then that catch was like incredible. And, unfortunately, Puka's almost at that point where we should have a little box on the top right, default game balls, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, a couple other guys maybe. But yeah, there are a couple other guys I considered, but I'll give my game ball to Puka. And I know you guys aren't going to call out another guy, and just a quick shout out, Jake Hummel. Pretty cool. He made a big play. It's always cool when a guy that just does the dirty work, you almost forget he's on the team, and he makes one big, potentially season-changing play. So a shout out to Jake Hummel too.
Yeah, shout out to him. And Nacua, every time we look on the Rams universe of stats and records being broken, it seems like Nacua's keeps doing something crazy. So shout out to Rams PR on X, formerly known as Twitter, with this fun stat. Wide receiver Puka Nakua surpassed Stephon Diggs, Alshon Jeffrey, Austin Collie, Marcus Robinson, Isaac Bruce, former Ram, and Gary Clark for the most games with at least 9 receptions and 160 receiving yards through a player's first 25 career games, with 3 such games in his career. What a baller, dude. What a freaking baller. What's your thoughts on that, Paul?
Yeah, first off, shout out to Cooper Kupp for helping with Puka's development, right? And we know not every player is like that. So, Puka is just a beast, man. Puka Nakua, we knew that from day one. Just the work ethic, the determination, that and the grit. That's it right there. The determination and the grit, you see it on the field every day when he's out there, practice, game day, the will to win. And now you're starting to see that consistency that makes him absolutely deadly.
Yeah, deadly indeed. And I'm so glad he's lighting the world on. Another Puka power pick. Hopefully we get someone like him in the near future, right, Paul? Damn. But speaking of Puka power picks and just your fortune telling of just great football knowledge, after you rewatch the game and rewatch the film, who are you going to give a game ball out to with the victory we had on Sunday?
Man, I got to go with the gunslinger, man. Optimus 9. Talk about an efficient game and just like precision and just dynamite across the board, man. The poise, the leadership, things that could very easily get overlooked. And you heard Brady pointed out he was calling the O-line adjustments. And shout out to Dan O, who was talking up the Rams and staff. And he showed a great play where staff at that last play when Puka sealed it, on how Optimus 9 baited Von Miller by looking to the left, making a line call, and then just, getting it out there quickly, and then boom, Puka was gone. So had a great game, super efficient. We talked about the last time we got together, completion percentage in the high mid-70s. So that's just fantastic. And just keeping the chains moving. And more importantly, like I said, like I had called it, I said, watch that vertical game get going. Now those 4 verts, I'm telling you, teams will not be able to stack the box. You watch, you feed that ground game, they will eat. This was a great statement game by Optimus 9. And later on we're going to talk about how tis the season of Stafford. This is Stafford's season, right? This is his.
It is. Might as well just get into it as you bring it up. I mean, look at this Rams Nation. If you're tuning in here on YouTube, follow along with me. Since he's been a Ram in 2021, in the month of December, Matthew Stafford's record when he starts games, we know in 2022 he missed the later half. He's 10-1. Points per game, Rams have been over 30 with 30.3. Total yards per game, a shy under 400 yards with 394.9. Passing yards per game, a little under 300, 260.9. Guys, when you want a quarterback and you pay him $40 million or above, in the month of December, Bill Belichick always says that's when real football's played. And real football's being played, meaningful football's being played, and our quarterback is balling the freaking freak out. I'm just getting me excited here. Dude is fantastic.
And Ram Nation, take out your highlighters, because in the last 4 games, right? Optimus 9, 1,041 yards, 10 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Beast.
That's how you lead by example.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on just Stafford's stat line of the game, right? 320 yards, passer rating was 132, 2 touchdowns, completion percentage was fantastic. And then obviously the month of December stuff. Mark, what do you think?
Yay, man. He's someone on the YouTube channel was kind of barking at the Rams and Matthew Stafford, comparing him to Josh Allen. And Matthew Stafford's top 12 quarterback at best, going by QBR and all this and that. And I don't know, man, I have a lot of respect for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's incredible, as Sean McVay called him. He's basically an alien. But I'm playoff time, December time, playoff time. I'm quite happy to have Matthew Stafford as our quarterback. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. And please stay, Matthew. We need you for a couple more years. Please don't run away. Don't retire. And Rams, pay that damn man. Stop screwing around after the season. Regardless of what happens these next month of games, pay that man. He's still good. He's still top 5. Don't screw around and find out. I said the G-rated version. You know what I mean?
He's locked and loaded. The gunslinger is ready to go, baby.
Yeah. Glock 9, Optimus 9. He's earned all those nicknames here. But gentlemen, my game ball, I'm going to keep it offense as well. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to give it to the entire offensive line here. 0 sacks against a Bills defense who maybe aren't world beaters on that side of the ball, but they can get after the quarterback. They can pressure the quarterback. They can cause havoc, and they have many games in a row now, which has led them to have a division title at this point in the year. So for this group right here, with Havenstein now rocking a new helmet, feeling refreshed, Bo Limmer solidifying his spot at center, saying, sorry, Jonah, I'm better than you, and I'm going to prove it yet again. Kevin Dotson finally rolling into form like a Pro Bowl, all-pro level guard he was playing at last year with the Guardian cap ready to smash into people. Steve Avila looks like he's back in the groove. And then Lamar Jackson quietly is having one of the best left tackle seasons of this 2024 campaign in the entire NFL since he's been playing after his dumb suspension earlier in the year. Fantastic running lanes were getting open. I think it helped with the diverse playbook. Pass protection, like I said, 0 sacks. Pressures were at a minimum. And when they can play like this, and they can play angry with those 42 carries that we deployed on the Bills, where they can get downhill and smash into people. I mean, this is what we envisioned with this Rams offense before the season started, right, gentlemen? Right, Rams Nation? We thought, all right, 30 points a game at least. Let's row grade some dudes and bulldoze opposing defenses. Keep Stafford upright. And we saw exactly that on Sunday afternoon, which is why we put up all those damn points and won that damn game. Because if they had any big errors, we would have lost this thing. No doubt about it. Shout out to the O-line. And I'll tip my cat to Sean McVay here because I thought he had a good play calling day. And we need all these things combined to win the West, win playoff games, get into the tournament. So respect to them. What about your thoughts, gentlemen, on that group?
Yeah, and I'd even extend it to the tight ends as well. I think they had a really good blocking day as well. But these guys, when they're playing at a high level, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are at their best, just their little jump cuts, both of them are so similar. It's deadly.
Yeah.
You see it in real time. Very difficult to deal with. You saw Blake Corum put the one Bills linebacker.
Oh yeah, he got him on skates on that one.
Yeah,
that was a good run.
and it was nice, and that's what these running backs do. And when you have this offensive line pummeling people, man, it's beautiful.
Beautiful indeed.
Yeah. And to expand upon that, it's just that Ram Nation, you have to understand that they're asking this O-line to run within one scheme. They're running the stretch zone, they're running the duo, they're pass blocking. They're getting out in space, right? We talked about the tight ends, different types of blocking combinations. They're running the 11 setup with inserts, right? And folds, all different types of really neat stuff. So there's a lot happening. And that's, really shout out to this O-line for being able to not just be physical up front, but being cerebral, executing at a very high level. I mean, this Buffalo game, when you watch it, Ram Nation, I was impressed. I was so impressed with how they played in the trenches. And shout out to, you had shouted out Hummel. I'm going to shout out Bo Limmer, man. Limmer, I mean, I don't think people understand this dude is a rookie and how he is holding it down in the middle. It is unbelievable. The combos, just being in the right place at the all time. And he just is unflappable, whether they're blitzing next to him or they're running a stunt in front of him. He is just cool as a cucumber, but he is one constant is that he is physical. He is upright, great leverage. Shout out. What a rookie find. No such thing as an overachiever, just all the underestimators around him. Way to go,
Oh, I
boy.
like that line. Where did this come from?
Stop calling that dog. Stop calling that dog an overachiever, man. You just underestimated Big Bo.
Woo!
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember,
let me
Paul,
see.
we were during the draft season, we were all over Ricky Powers Johnson, right? As Oregon State, one of those
Yeah.
schools. And he's having a fine rookie season too. I think the Raiders took him in the second round, and we got our guy much later, and I think Bo may be better.
Bo knows football.
Yeah.
Garrett, that's the bottom line.
Bo should be considered for all pro. I'm serious. He's going to make the all rookie team, obviously, but other than what Creed Humphrey, who I know burns in the souls of many Rams fans. I mean, think about it. What other center? Okay, Eagle center. I'm blanking on his name, but there's only a handful you can think of that are objectively playing better than he is right now. Bo Limmer, right? He's in the top
Yeah, I think
six.
I
Sincerely,
think the stat I saw on Twitter was zero pressures allowed, right, against the Bills.
yeah,
Absolute zero.
beast.
So there you go.
Yeah, baller for sure. Again, shout out to the O-line, and I again tip my cap to Sean McVay for having a good play calling day. But with that said, we move on, just like the team, just like the organization, everyone. And Niner Week is here. Holy crap. Round 2, Thursday Night Football. But before we get to that, we got to get to Paul's starting blocks. We got to get fast out of those blocks like some track and field, right, Paul? Take it away, dude.
Yeah, that's it, man. The back against the wall, we went from the chopping block because if they didn't get it done, they would have been in bad shape. So now we're in the starting blocks, right? The race to 4. Who's going to finish strong? And that's the bottom line. You want to be a champ, you got to finish like a champ. So what I did was, Ram Nation, I took everything from last week, put it up right here for a visual so you can see we're not changing anything, but we're just showing you how a lot of what we highlighted, what the Rams have to do when it comes to fruition, this is the type of output they're going to achieve. So the first thing we said was you got to dominate the game, the time of possession, play, keep away. Let's take a look at that first stat. Time of possession. There's a reason it comes out to TOP. You want to stay on top, win this battle every game, the time of possession. And look at that 17-minute differential, right? That says it all. You keep Josh Allen on the sideline, it made a huge difference, right? Made a huge difference. You're limiting the number of touches. You're also saving your defense from getting gassed. And that really was the difference of the game, the difference that a lot of people easily could overlook. But the time, we've been talking about it, whether it was the ground game, whether it was staff with the third down conversions and the big strikes, it made a huge difference in the Rams being able to dictate the pace of the game, control the game, and remain physical and wear down the Bills defense. Let's go to everybody's favorite. If you're tuning into this podcast and you're reading right down where it says "Run the Rock," right? Shout out to the Beast Coast, right? We're doing it at twilight, 10:35 Eastern time out here, right? We want to run the rock. So Rams rushing offense was averaging 100 yards a game. Look what they did against Buffalo. 42 carries, 137, 3 touchdowns. That's how you roll, baby. That's how you roll on the ground. So this is what we've been talking about. If the Rams can control the ground game, that's going to open everything up in terms of their offense. And that includes, when we talk about these carries, we're talking about what? Puka Nacua being factored in with those jet sweeps. So the Rams being able not only to hit it up the middle, right? The A gap and the B gap, now being able to threaten that C and the D and outside, what we call get to the alleys, made a huge difference. Watching everything, I think Blake Corum is not just going to be a great change of pace back. I think Iron Kyren is a certain type of back, and people are going to have to accept that. He doesn't have that, if you want to say, that top gear to pull away, but that's okay. He takes what's there and he drives the ball north and south. That's what we love about him. And that's absolutely plays into what duo is all about. All right, those 4s start turning into 14s, and that's okay. Blake Corum, I think, would be a great back to start threatening the C's and the D's. And that's what they have to do. When he's out there, start running the stretch with him. Listen, he's a fresh back, doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him, and he's got that second gear, man. And I think it'll be perfect for him, and also out of the backfield for both of them. Both these backs need to touch the ball out of the backfield. But look at what they did in the ground game. That's how you control and dictate the pace of a game. So we said that Rams must resurrect the deep strike passing game. That's straight from what we had talked about. Look at Stafford's numbers. We saw that. Got the ball deep, backed up the safeties. That's exactly what they have to do. This four-vert concept, Ram Nation, what that means is you send your receivers to threaten those safeties that are sitting back there. You send them four deep. Whoever gets that inside leverage, whoever gets open, put up there. And with the talent the Rams have at wide receiver and just the accuracy of Matthew Stafford, you're probably going to walk away with a completion or a PI. That's it. With the way the NFL is calling pass interference, and we saw that in this game, that if it's not there, either throw the player open or get it as close as you can, because chances are that D-back's going to panic. And the way they're calling PI, you might walk away with a flag, and that's okay. But that deep strike passing game has now reemerged for the Rams moving forward. That is going to be an absolute weapon. The third down percentage, they came in, look at that, right? A miserable 33%. Look what they did against Buffalo, 73%, 11 out of 15. That's huge. And on the defensive side of it, just as a reminder, 5 of Buffalo's first downs were given to them by penalty. So you talk about the defensive side of it, Rams have to play smarter. But this first down percentage is huge, right? So roughly about 20 to 25% of Buffalo's first downs were achieved by penalty. But look at this clip. And I think this is probably going to be a number anywhere from about the 60% to about 70% is going to be the average for the Rams moving forward if Stafford and this running game stays hot. I said the ground game will dictate the number of touches. Look how many plays the Rams. Just so you know, Ram Nation, on average, a good offense is very happy if they hit 60. Rams hit 72 total plays. 72 total plays. That's when you look at that time of possession, that's where it comes from. So these are the starting blocks. If the Rams continue this way, get out of the gate quickly. That was huge. They scored in the first quarter. They didn't fall behind. That was huge, correct? Now, the one sole area that really jumped out at me was, if you look at the score, and the Rams were ahead, we talked about it, at 2.5 scores. How did Buffalo come back so quickly? Well, let's take a look. The Rams gave up 21 fourth quarter points. With the Rams' time of possession, how is this possible? Well, let's take a look. They gave up 3 TDs in the fourth quarter. Look at the length of the drives. 51 seconds, 4 minutes, 54 seconds. So combine that together, Ram Nation, you're looking 3 touchdowns in 6 minutes. That's how you lose a game, right? When you are dominating the time of possession and you allow a team to tie it up, it's probably because you're giving up quick strikes, and that's exactly what happened in this game. But if they can correct that, this is the Rams' sort of template, what I like to call the starting blocks for the stretch run, right? That sprint to the finish like a champ. Basically, we won't have to change the slide for the remainder of the season. This is what we're going to be looking for. And this is what we're going to be evaluating moving forward.
Yeah, well said there. I mean, it sounds so simple when you lay it all out there like that, Paul. But teams just blow some of those categories, and I understand the flow of the game gets you into a mindset. We see McVay do this. We see all these coaches around the league do this time and time again. But if teams follow this, I mean, victories should be popping up like nothing, right, Mark?
Yeah, and you know what I think happened in that fourth quarter? Some of it had to do with, Josh Allen and his running ability. Our defense was gassed. You saw those guys on the sideline just gassed. And hey, they're young professional athletes, but they're giving it their all. I'm not banging on them at all. It's tough duty chasing down Josh Allen the entire fourth quarter, basically. So there's that. But I think at the end of the fourth quarter, our defense was just totally gassed, and that had a lot to do with their offensive production. I don't know what you can do about it other than you got to tackle better, get him on the ground a few times. But
what I did like was, if a Ram Nation, one shout out though, the Rams at the goal line. I know they gave up a couple of rushing TDs to the Alpha Allen, right? But however, they held up a couple of downs. They didn't just sort of like cave in. There were, 2 or 3 times they held up and forced them to do it twice or 3 times. So that bodes well for them. Whatever can be, listen, you can't reinvent your defense this late in the season, but there are some things that you can correct. And that right now, the major, major failing of this Ram defense is they are lost in zone coverage. You see Darius Williams, we were all talking about it. Darius Williams, who is a much better player than he looked like in that game, much better player. I'll stand behind that. D. Will is a much better player than he has played up to this point. Whatever they have to do, they have to close that door and figure out what it is, and that's on Shula. You got to figure out what it is, because this is not as young a defense as everyone is saying. You have veteran players in that secondary. That was the whole idea, right? To bring in those veterans so you can lean on them and not give up these big plays. And it's actually working in reverse. And I'll stand by this. Cam Curl has to be closer to the line of scrimmage. He is not a center field safety. He was making plays when he was closer to the line of scrimmage, and they have to find a way to get late back into that sort of that rover role. That's where he thrives. And he did, even though he gave up those 2, people were criticizing him for those 2 passes. Look at the coverage. It was tight. Those were perfect throws. Allen put it on the money.
Quentin, you mean?
Yeah, Lake. Yeah. He was tight coverage, but those throws were pinpoint.
And the pass interference, there's not a lot you can do about that. Yeah.
So maybe with Johnny Johnson coming back, that might make a difference. He hasn't played in a while, but it is reminiscent to Weddle, right? Weddle coming back in and being able to play center field. So maybe that'll help the Rams in that situation. But overall, they have to figure it out, because right now that is the Achilles heel.
Yep. And with the building blocks. I'll say that real quick.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, what's Akilla Witherspoon's role here moving forward? And someone asked on the YouTube channel. I didn't have an answer. I'm not sure what a snap count was against Buffalo, but there's been some games where he had 0 snaps, and then he's got 4 snaps, and he's got 26 snaps. So I don't know what's going on with him. And maybe with the new Emmanuel Forbes joining the ranks there, I don't think that's going to affect Witherspoon's playing time, though. I don't know. Is Witherspoon kind of an afterthought at this point, or
feels like it? I mean, I'll keep it short. We don't know what the hell is going on behind the scenes. He's been shipped off in many different spots. Maybe his personality rubs people the wrong way. I don't know this. I'm just trying to formulate a reason why he's not playing when he is a good corner. There were some moments this season where you're like, gosh, that would have been better. That would have been better. But it wasn't like he was getting burnt or he was, screwing up in pass coverage. It was more like he just misjudged, defending passes, kind of like what Darius is on right now. I mean, the coverage is there to just ticky-tack calls or whatever. But if I had to guess, and I don't know Jack Tilley's squat, when you're getting bounced around this much in the league, right? Seahawks, Niners, Steelers didn't want him. We didn't want to re-sign him initially after you had a good season with us. Maybe his personality just does not gel with this Rams coaching staff and Rams culture. That's my guess. I don't know Jack Tilley's squad, but for all those, hey, teams don't want you, even though you've been playing good football. There has to be something larger, and I hope that gets straightened out if there is anything like that, and we can see him on the field, which is not unlikely based on what's going on with Kobe Durant, which we'll get to in a bit. So
the bottom line is also, it's like, who is their slot player? So they have an issue, right? Because Kobe is really, doesn't like playing the slot. He hasn't played well in the slot. So if he kicks outside, the same scenario we see with Tyler Johnson, right? Who's a very talented player, right? The Rams have like an embarrassment of riches at the wide receiver position, but also at corner they do now. Now you add in Forbes, so they do have legitimately, right, 4 corners with good length and good playmaking ability. And then I think what the Rams are trying to do is try to find out who are these guys, 2 guys that we can find, because they know Lake is their 3rd guy. It's like that we can put out there that can consistently make plays. The Rams, there has been a dearth of big plays from the Rams secondary, and it's glaring. And teams are all over it, and Buffalo exploited it. So, and the Rams, honestly, the Rams cornerback room is much better than that. So they have to figure it out.
Yep. Yes, they do. Because it's 49er week, everyone. Holy crap, we're already here. Rams at 49ers week 15 on Thursday Night Football out in Santa Clara, not San Francisco, for everyone who wants to argue that. I forget exactly how far away it is from the Bay Area, but it is. Some people have told me it could be an hour or plus. So are they the Santa Clara 49ers or are they San Francisco 49ers? And people that want to argue that Inglewood's not in LA. Well, LA is a mass place. Anywhere in LA County, you're an LA native. A little bit different with them up north. So I take that little jab for fun there, saying it's in Santa Clara, even though, San Francisco 49ers, whatever. But with that said, though, they've had an insane season just like us, right? Rams Nation gentlemen here with me. Right now, they are 6-7. They've had wins over the Jets, the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Bears this past week where they kicked their ass. But they've lost to the Vikings. They've lost to us early in the year in that crazy game. They've lost to the Cardinals, Chiefs, and then 3 straight. Seahawks got them. Packers got them. Bills got them. And they've only won back-to-back games just once. So a lot of it's due to injuries, the Super Bowl hangover that we've experienced. They're having something very similar. And now it's probably their second Super Bowl hangover, truthfully, in the Shanahan era there. And Rams are 7-6. Even though the 49ers are favored, according to Vegas and some odds. All right.
I think it's dropped to 2 maybe now, but yeah, I was surprised by that too. I thought it would be maybe a 1 or a pick 'em.
Yeah, so all right. We haven't beat them much in recent history. Okay. But hey, our thrill over the Buffalo Bills should maybe change minds. But I get it. 49ers absolutely dominated the Bears with their 38-13 victory. But hey, let's not forget that week 3 victory we had over them. Rams 27, Rams 24, and that epic comeback here in LA. Getting all those Niner fans out of SoFi Stadium was a pleasure to see, both in person and on television.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
This episode is brought to you by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. There's a lot to be thankful for this season. For one, I'm thankful you can get NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV right now for only $209. It's exactly what you need as we head right into the playoffs. You can invite your friends over. Maybe you have a multi-view. You could have 4 different games, one for you, one each for the 3 other friends you invite. You can change the games around as soon as a game, the outcome becomes pretty certain. Dump that game, but in another one. I've become the multi-view master. The moment the one of the games is losing steam, I'm ready to move right in and move it for another one. Build your own multi-view. One of my favorite words. Thank yourself this holiday season. Get NFL Sunday Ticket for the rest of the NFL regular season for just $209. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Terms and embargoes apply. Device and content restrictions apply. No cancellations.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud.
Help!
Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Deck your home with Blinds.com. Blinds.com. DIY or let us install. Blinds.com. Free design consultation. Free. Plus free samples and free shipping.
Head to Blinds.com now for up to 40% off select styles, plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
But with that said, though, gentlemen, before we get into some other stuff, golly, the 49ers are really banged up. And it's incredible how they're even having 6 wins right now, truthfully. So let's look at their offense and their depth chart right here, because I think it's important to point out, and Paul, you can share this info as we go through the starters here. A lot of these guys who are in these first string categories, they're probably not going to play. And some of these guys are already backups who are filling in for an injured McCaffrey, an injured Brandon Ayuk, and others. So we start with Juwan Jennings, who absolutely torched us in week 3. He'll be there ready to play. Trent Williams is questionable. Aaron Banks is doubtful. Right, Paul? Where did you see that info at for that?
So they had him. Yep, they had him reported as concussion protocol. So it's still early in the week, right? This is a Thursday game, Ram Nation. So it's sort of tough with the injury calls, but they had him reported as concussion protocol. So no, he's still listed. He's still listed as concussion protocol. So we'll see how it goes. So tomorrow will be an important day for that call.
Yeah, for Banks. And then Trent Williams, is that doubtful? You read that from the 49ers?
Yep, it's still doubtful.
Woo, man, that's huge for our team, with 2 starting O-linemen not going to be in the lineup, and then a Hall of Fame level tackle like Trent Williams. Man, oh man. But they still have their center. They still have Dominic Pooney, who a lot of 49ers fans are not fans of. So that benefits us, I guess. Colin McKivitz. George Kittle, who did not play in that week 3 game, is likely to be ready to go. Isaac Guerrero, the speedster, who's the 3rd string running back, is questionable, but Shanahan is hoping he can maybe power through it, as he is not expected to practice at all leading up until the game. So it's either him or the 4th string running back, Patrick Taylor Jr., is going to be stepping up. That's going to be crazy. Then you have Deebo Samuel, who did not play in that week 3 matchup. He'll be ready to go. Ricky Pearsall, I know he's the 2nd string, but he's a technical starter in this. He did not play in that week 3 game. We're going to see him for the first time as a Niner. Kyle Juszczyk, who's a tight end, fullback, running back hybrid. He'll be ready. And then Brock Purdy, who had one of his best passer ratings against us in his career in week 3. He'll be ready to go, obviously, but he'll battle through a lot of stuff. So a lot of question marks in this Rams defense versus Rams defense versus 49ers offense. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? We'll see who rolls out there for the 49ers offense on Thursday. But then we switch over to the defense, gentlemen, and we still got tons of questions for who the hell is going to play and who's not. So we start with old friend, Super Bowl champion Leonard Floyd, who luckily was neutralized in our week 3 game. You have Malik Collins, who's filling in for an injured Hargrave, who we did face in week 3. He's out for the year. Then you have Jordan Elliott. You have Bosa, who, Paul, shout out to your info there. Is he doubtful as well? Was that correct, what you read?
They have him on the injury report. They don't have a call on him just yet, but this is also like a coach's game too. They'll list players as doubtful and they'll wind up playing. So it's still early in the week, but he is listed on the injury report.
Yeah, he did not play against the Bears, even though they still ramrodded them. And he's been dealing with, I think, multiple hip injuries he's been battling through. So, he's not out there. Better for us. But then also D Winters, Fred Warner, who he said he's been playing through a slight, a hairline fracture in his ankle, but he's still playing like a Pro Bowler at the minimum, playing freaking good football. Then you have Devondre Campbell, who's slated in, but Dre Greenlaw, our nemesis at the linebacker position there, he's coming back from his Achilles injury that he suffered in the Super Bowl. He's questionable. He might play. That'll be a big boost for them, as Campbell, who had good moments with the Packers, hasn't been a very good player in long periods of time with the Niners. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we see Devondre instead of Greenlaw. David, he's back in the lineup. RIP to his daughter. I heard the news way back. I mean, who knows if he's in a great mental state to play, his best football, Pro Bowl level football like he has. Sucks for him, but he'll be back playing again. And then you have Demondre Lenore, who's been a good player for them. Right corner, nickel. He's been everywhere. Malik Mustafa, who's had very good moments. And then, Hufanga, did not play in that week 3 game. He's been back. He's a difference maker. He's an all-pro level safety, very Palomalu-esque with his Samoan heritage, Polynesian heritage, and he flies around just like him. So questionable stuff on the defense, right, gentlemen? And we're just hoping that we just show up and get ready to go despite whoever is ready, right? No matter who it is. So that's what's going on with them. But with that said, who the hell are the best players on this 49ers team that we have to look out for? Now, we went through this depth chart real quick, but we're going to talk about the guys who we know for a fact are going to play unless something catastrophic happens. And we'll start with Fred Warner. Battling through the broken ankle. Doesn't matter. Still looks like a Pro Bowl player. Still will probably end up being an all-pro, after it's all said and done. Dude is insane. Dude is a beast. And we have to call out the mic every single time and know where the hell 54 is at. He's truthfully a Hall of Fame worthy player, right, gentlemen? So we have him. Then next, who else do we have to worry about that we know for sure is going to play in this game? And I think that's George Kittle. Again, he did not play in that week 3 matchup, and we benefit from that very much. But in this game here, he's somebody who likes to attack the middle of the field, likes to get those seam passes, and we don't defend that very well. Newsflash, everyone, if you've been watching games all year. That is something we struggle with, and that is something he can kick ass in, along with his great blocking, along with the toughness, along with the yards after catch, breaking tackles. I mean, he's an all-pro level player, and that's somebody we got to definitely.
Yeah, and he seems like he's a guy that always gets us. I swear, every time he's a Rams nemesis for sure.
Yeah, he's a nemesis. And speaking of a nemesis that's been growing over the years, the quarterback Brock Purdy. He's beaten us once, and he had a good game in SoFi a couple seasons ago or a season ago. He had one of his best passer rating days in week 3 this season, as he was a drop pass away from beating us. Let's just call it what it is, Rams Nation. When that backup receiver, I want to say his name was something Bell. I don't remember his first name.
Ronnie Bell.
Something like that. Yeah, you're probably right, Mark. If he catches that pass, which was not saying it was going to be some teardrop, oh my God, what easy catch, but that was a catchable deep ball he threw. If he catches that, Niners win that game and we lose, and we're still talking about how we can't beat the Niners on a regular basis. Brock Purdy absolutely balled out on us last time we saw him in week 3. Couldn't tackle him, couldn't sack him, couldn't get him to the ground. He escaped, threw wherever he wanted to, and that was without a George Kittle and a Deebo Samuel in that game. And I think Trent Williams didn't even play in that game either at that time in the year, if my memory serves me correctly. So this dude's a baller. He's a good quarterback. I hope they pay him $80 million a year so they can't pay other players. Give him what he wants, the 49ers. But he's someone that we have to do a better job getting to the ground, containing his scrambles, or we're going to be in for another long defensive day like he did to us in week 3.
Yeah, and our edge rushers really had a quiet day against Josh Allen, understandably so. I mean, it's really hard to get to Allen. It's hard to get to Purdy, though, so hopefully we can get him on the ground a couple of times.
Yeah, I think so for sure, too. But any of those 3 players really stand out to you, Paul, that we talked about?
Yeah, first off, just shout out to the big dog, Warner, man. Getting the injections before every game, with that ankle, playing through a fracture. I mean, that just says it all. That's the kind of player, and that's the heart and soul of that defense is right there. So, having said that, the Niners are not going to lay down for the Rams. This is like, we just saw it in college football. It's good. It's like rivalry week all over again. But, they're going to come out ready to play. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Look at their record with everything that they've gone through. And rivalry or no rivalry, you don't want to see it happen to any player, right? We saw McCaffrey go down, man. He's a great player, man. He's an absolute beast. He went down, and now you see Warner playing through that, and you see the host of other injuries. You want it to be, best on best, right? And then obviously a player losing, their little girl. It's just beyond words.
And Trent Williams too, right? I think he had some death in the family.
Yeah.
It's been brutal for them. It's been brutal.
Ricky Pearsall with the shooting, it's just to see and then to come back and play football, man. You talk about love of the game, man. So shout out to the Niners, all those players, regardless of what color uniform anybody wears, there's a human being underneath that helmet, and that from the Rams Up crew, we're pulling for all you guys, and for the Niner fans out there, man, it's all love. So, but yeah, so Warner's a beast. Kittle is just an absolute monster. The Rams linebackers, the tackling scenario, you better lock that dude up or he's going to take it to the house. But he's also Brock Purdy's security blanket, man. He makes those tough grabs. And I have to say this, I know there's a lot of Purdy haters out there, but Brock, man, watch him in the pocket, man. That kid is savvy, man. The way he slides left and throws right, the way those half rolls, man, I still think they got to move him around a little bit more. That kid, I like the way when he's moving around, but he's much more comfortable in the pocket than I ever realized watching some of the SF film. But, shout out to Purdy. His progression has been very, very positive. I like the way he handles himself out there on the field. But, those three, the Rams have to, the Rams have to show up, just like we said for Buffalo. It's about the way you have to look at this season, and I'm sure the staff is looking at it this way. It's a 5-game season. You're 1-0. That's the way you have to look at it, right? You're 1-0 with 4 remaining. That's how this season is going to be defined. And I like the fact the Rams are playing 2 physical games back-to-back. Ram Nation, I think that iron sharpens iron. This is what you want. And remember back to what McVay said about the 21 season. He said he was happy that the Rams were playing the Niners because for them to go into the Super Bowl, they would need a game like that. And I'm telling you, this is going to be another Windex game. Rams have to show up, play their best football. They have to go on the road and do it. So, yeah, you have to step up and show up. And this is what's going to get, like we talked about, that trajectory to start raising up as the Rams elevate their play. And who else would do it with our against our arch rivals? So I'm really excited about this game. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think a few years ago, you would have saw these two teams, Rams fans would always see, I think everybody would see the Rams as the softer team, going up to play the mighty 49ers, the really physical 49ers. And I think we can match them in that part of the game, in that aspect of the game at this point. We really transformed our team, the offensive line, our running backs, and our wide receivers, especially as physical as it gets. So I don't think that they necessarily enjoy playing us either. From that aspect of it, and so that's kind of nice to know, because I think it did used to be true. They did push us around a little bit back in the day, but not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. And speaking of that history, let's just get into it, gentlemen. What the hell has been going on since McVay's been our coach? And other teams, we go back to 2000, but we play the Niners twice a year every year, so that history is very dicey. So we'll go from since Sean McVay has been our coach since 2017. And with that, it started out good. And then we had a lot of bad L's in a row for that stretch of 19, 20, 21. But then we got them in that NFC Championship game. Then we had another bad stretch of games. And then the last 2 matchups, we finally been able to get them. And I know that last game of the year was the backup bowl. But our backups were better than theirs, and that was fun to watch as we secured 10 wins. And, we're able to definitely secure a playoff spot. And then we had that great comeback victory with Stafford playing with no Nakua, no Cup. Other starters on the O-line, starters on defense weren't available. And like we said earlier, a lot of the Niners people were missing too, but we were able to get it done. And that victory really, really was needed. Looking back now, here we are in control of our own destiny. But gentlemen, since McVay's been our coach, what are your quick thoughts on this Rams versus 49ers history since Shanahan and McVay have been the respective head coaches?
Well, I have been posed that question before from 49er fans, and, hey, how does it feel to be owned by the 49ers? And I say, well, how does it feel to not win a Super Bowl in 3 decades or whatever it is? And end of conversation. It is what it is, but we're starting to turn the tide on him a little bit. I have to say one thing before it just crossed my mind, going off on a little bit of a tangent here. This season, going back to the first 49er game, incredible game. As stressful as it gets. And then the Seahawks game, we come back and beat them in overtime. And then this Bills game, 3 incredible wins. And hey, I think it's pretty special year for the Rams so far. And hopefully this Thursday night game will be a continuation of that. But yeah, the 49ers in McVay's era, certainly they've got the best of us, but we've got the last two. We have a Super Bowl trophy. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I feel that. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's a great game. I think it's the game I call the mindset game. Are the Rams going to continue with that winning mindset? Don't get distracted about like who you're playing, where you're playing, but stay within yourself, who you are, what's your identity, what are you trying to establish, right? Want to get to 2-0 and run the table. That's the bottom line. That should be the Rams' objective, right? Everybody else on the other line of scrimmage, they're just an obstacle that needs to be overcome. Right? You need to be able to impose your will. And this is a great test for them. A good physical team. You want to see if the Rams can impose their will on this team. And I will say this, just the other night, Ram Nation, you have to check it out as I wear the LA champion colors, right? There was a great segment. Shout out to Doc Roberts. So I have to share this with Ram Nation. You're going to love it. Doc Roberts starts off talking about when he was younger, driving his Toyota Tercel, with the 8-inch speakers in the back, bumping NWA, right? Because they showed the footage of him dancing with Ice Cube. But he was talking about this series, and the first thing that popped into my mind was the Rams-San Francisco game. He said, for a couple of seasons, we were like a technical boxer, right? We were like a technical boxer, right? We knew how to do all these things and everything else. And when it got into these big games, we were like, sort of like we didn't realize we were in a street fight. He said the difference in this year was he let the players decide how they wanted to approach it. Like they're going to a street fight. Take the gloves off, forget the technical aspect of it, and work on some of those intangibles and everything else. And that toughness sort of rose to the top. This is exactly what this game is like. The Rams have to be able to take off the gloves. This is a street fight. You better be able to show up, right? And man up. That's how I define this game. And I think that was a perfect example. Shout out to Doc Roberts that put a smile on face listening to that about his Toyota Tercel story. And with the windows down, I love it. But the bottom line is I think it's the same type of dynamic for this team, right? The defense trying to find itself, the offense heating up. Now it's a matter of no excuses, show up, get it done, and let's go on to the next game. So I'm excited about this game.
Yeah, me too. Golly, gentlemen, this is a big matchup coming up this week. No doubt about it, Rams Nation. So let's get into it. Keys to victory for Thursday night football. How the hell are the Rams going to put the Niners away for the year, shatter their playoff chances, and how the Rams are going to propel themselves to hopefully and with high chances win the West and get in the playoff tournament? So I'll start with you, Mark. What do the Rams need to do offensively, defensively, and special teams to be able to get a victory against our arch rivals from Northern California?
Well, it seems like every time we play the 49ers, there's moments where the game starts to get away from us. It can they're the type of team that they're a scary team. I don't care who is playing and who isn't playing. They have a lot of talent. They can score a touchdown, force a 3-and-out, score another touchdown, and where you're down 14-0, and that's what happened in the first matchup. We were able to come back and beat them, though. But you just have to ride that out. There's going to be plays that go against you. Maybe we're going to have a turnover. We're going to get some bad calls. We just got to stick to the game plan, continue to run the ball. Hopefully the defense make a play or two. Our special teams not screw anything up. And just keep on playing, especially on offense. I won't get to my prediction yet, but the 49ers are going to put some points up on the board on our defense. I don't care who's in and who's out. So our offense has to continue to produce, finish in the red zone, kind of just continue what they were doing Sunday against the Bills. If they can pretend it's the fifth quarter against the Bills, we'll be fine. But yeah, that's a lot of things they have to get done, but mainly it's about riding out the storm, taking it into the fourth quarter, and finishing.
Yep. Simple Simple, simple. That's the beauty of football. Not all those things happen on a weekly basis, right, Paul? But what are your keys to victory? Offense, defense, special teams. What the hell do you need to see to feel good about the Rams getting a victory on prime time on Thursday?
Yeah, keep it simple, son. KISS, right? Do what you do well. So the Rams have to identify 3 things that they do well and execute those 3 things at a very high rate of execution. So run the rock, make them load the box, and then make them pay for loading the box, just like what they did against Buffalo, right? Put the ball in Stafford's hands to, so run this offense like a beautiful machine. Play 60 minutes of football. So just like Mark said, 5-minute letdown could put 14 points on the board with the way this Ram defense is playing. You got to be careful. So you got to play 60 minutes of football, bell to bell, like a brawler, like a street brawl, no quit until the other person is down and out. That's how you know who the winner is. So hard fought game on offense. Want to see that physical ground game. All right. Want to see those vertical shots. Take those, move the chains, right? A high percentage completion rate for Stafford. That quarterback rating is the key for Stafford. Everything else is meaningless. Keep that quarterback rating high for Stafford because his talent level is so high. His arm talent is just ridiculous. And one thing, Ram Nation, watch the replay of that game. Rams are very unique. When they do those half rolls, which are my favorite, by the way, those half roll right to Stafford, the Rams do not even run a player in the flat. McVay is so downfield. He's like, I don't even want someone in the flat. Just so you know, Ram Nation, every other team's probably running somebody in the flat. The Rams don't even have a player in the flat because they want Staff to look downfield, and that's exactly what he does, whether it's that out, whether that's comeback, right? It's like 15, 20 yards downfield. It's ridiculous. So just there's so much talent on that offense. Stay within themselves, play great. And shout out to Evans, man. Dropping those punts within the 20 and then killing that clock with 7 at the end, which never should have happened, but he did. And, listen, hopefully we won't have to rely on Cardi.
No kidding, though. That's just facts, straight facts, unfortunately.
Well, they're probably saying hopefully they don't have to count on Moody as well. So
yeah, kickers have just been struggling this whole year, man. It's we're not the only one, and that gives me some peace of mind, just a little bit, Rams Nation.
Yeah, I might feel a little bit better about Moody than Cardi at this point, though. Unfortunately,
yeah, I agree with that. And what are my keys to victory, Rams Nation? Well, again, look at all these people who are not playing in this game. Win the damn game just straight up based off this, right? But there's more nuance to it. I know. So let's go to some little stats real quick to look at. 49ers offense has been pretty dang good. 49ers defense has been pretty dang good, other than they've had some bad moments of giving up points. Rams offense, we got a boost from this last game of stats. Rams defense has had terrible performances multiple times this year, but we've seen good moments from them. And I think the real key here offensively for the Rams to attack the 49ers defense is run that damn football. They're beat up on the interior. No Hargrave. Greenlaw is a coin flip, but Campbell can get run on. Fred Warner's not 100%. Bosa, if he plays, will not be 100%. Leonard Floyd has not been the player that they've been hoping for. Their rotational defensive ends have not been the players they've been hoping for on a consistent basis. Challenge Hufanga, make him step up to throw the pass over their head, right? Run the ball efficiently on this banged up 49ers front seven, and then you get a Hufanga to creep up. You get their talented secondary when they're on, they're really good to creep up, and that's when you can get Tutu. You can get Nakua on those comebacks and those deep ends. You can get Cooper Kupp on a crossing route or those whip routes. So there's out routes that we can shred people on. That's how you do it, because they can give up yards in the run game. It's not a whole lot, but that's where they're weakest. Front seven, too many guys are out there. Defensively, we just got to make sure to get Brock Purdy to the damn ground for freaking football God's sake. Because if we look at the stats from the last time we played receiving, Juwan Jennings had a career day. Brandon Ayuk, who dropped passes, probably should have shredded us for close to 100 yards. And then we can see our guys there on the right side where no Puka, no Robinson, no Cooper Kupp, there. But Hey, let's not have another career day for somebody. Aren't we tired of that, Rams Nation? Saquon career day. Brock Purdy had one of the best passer ratings of his career. Saquon had a career day. Carr had an efficient day. Whoever else I'm just blanking on right now, or it seems like someone has a career day on us. Oh, Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray. It's like, can we not have that for once? And this game is going to be pivotal because of Brock Purdy and this 49ers offense, who's going to have a Kittle and a Debo back in the lineup and a Ricky Pearsall. And yes, no starting lineman, but we can't seem to get people on the dang ground for whatever reason. That's going to be a big deal. Get Brock Purdy to the ground, pressure him enough. Don't let him escape. Make him throw it away. Defend the middle of the field as much as possible because Ricky Pearsall and Debo Samuel are not outside, route running receivers. They like the intermediate in the middle stuff like Kittle. So we can defend in and outward in the pass game and then rally to Purdy. We'll have a great chance to stop them because, if their 4-string running back has to play, I feel pretty good about that other than the other 3 guys who are unlikely to play. So I think it's really simple. And then special teams. Yeah, I just have to agree with what you said earlier, Paul. We just can't rely on Cardi to win it for us. We just can't. And if he is summoned, then great. Hopefully he makes his kicks. And then hopefully Ethan Evans has another good punting day. And gosh, all that to say, we have more healthy players. They do not. Rams, get it freaking done. Bury your rivals. End their season. Put them in the dirt. Give them no hope from making the playoffs. And let's get to 8 wins and finish the damn job with a season sweep. Wouldn't that be fantastic, Rams Nation? I think so. So that's my keys to victory, everyone. And with that said, we got to give you some early score predictions. And again, we haven't gotten the final injury report. We don't know who's 100% going to play, who's 100% not going to play, but we gave all our best guesses throughout this episode. And with that said, Mark, we'll start with you, dude. What is your early score prediction? Give it to us.
Well, let's see. We won last time. We beat them 27-24. We came back. We were down 10 points. Moody missed. I went back and looked at the highlights from the last game. Moody missed a 55-yarder, gave us new life. That was the game Ronnie Rivers converted a fake punt. So the special teams pitched in. Kyron had that flip into the end zone. It was a great game. And then the big throw, the vertical throw, Paul, you must have loved that, to Tutu. So I'm thinking it's going to be a similar game. I wouldn't be surprised if, the 49ers got the jump on us a little bit in Santa Clara. Tough place to play for us. But we wear them down. And with the running game and Puka and Kupp, man, the way they're playing right now with Stafford, it could be really electric, especially in the second half. So I'm predicting we're going to be maybe trailing early, but we come back and win. I'm going to go with 27-24, which happens to be the same score we beat them by last time. But that sounds about right. I think both teams are going to be in the 20s. I'll roll with that, 27-24 Rams.
Whew. I mean, if the game turns out exactly like it did in week 3, Mark, and we get the same exact score in a similar fashion, I would have probably little heart attacks every now and then, but I'd be happy with that outcome for sure.
Yeah, it seems like that happens with us with the 49ers a lot. We get down a little bit, get down early a little bit. Sometimes we rally and other times we don't. I don't know if there's many games where we've got the jump on them. That doesn't happen very often for whatever reason. Maybe this is the game we do, but on the road, Santa Clara is a tough place for the Rams to play. I don't think they've done well there. So I don't think it's realistic to expect we're just going to go in there and get up on them 21-7 or something. I'd be really surprised if that happens. It's going to be as Paul said, a street fight early on. Would not be surprised if they got the jump on us, but I think we can hang with them and pull it out.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. All right, Paul. What the heck do you think is going to happen this game, score-wise? And what is your early score prediction for this Thursday night primetime game up in the north?
Yeah, I think just like we said, it's going to be a street fight. It's going to be nasty. I think coming off this high-profile win, they go on the road. I think, like Mark said, I'm looking at that old score, and I think the differential will be, I think just the injuries are just going to catch up with the Niners. I think it'll be 27-17. I think that'll be the differential. It's going to be a hard-fought game.
Yeah. I hope that's the
And
case.
shout out to the Misfits. If you're rocking the Misfits, shout out. One of the most underrated bands of all time.
Yep. This is this old t-shirt. You know, it's I've had it for a while, but hey, we're feeling a little feeling a little grungy, a little punk, a little angry with the Niner week coming on. So I was channeling that energy ready to throw in a mosh.
You're not feeling the yacht rock today?
Hey, I love rock, but not on Niner week. I'm sorry, Mark. We gotta be a little more angry. But you know what, Rams Nation? I picked this team, our team, to lose a bunch because I have not felt good about them for feels like the whole season, other than a couple games here and there, truthfully. But what I saw this last game and what I've been saying, I gotta see consistency. We got 2 games in a row of consistency on offense. I mean, I know that Saints first half was pretty bad, but in the second half, since that moment, Saints second half, and through the entire Bills game. So for 6 quarters, they've been on fire pretty much. And I'm hoping, and I'm going to bet that some level of good offensive performance shows up in this game. So I'm going Rams 24, 49ers 21, Rams win. I'm picking them to get their freaking act together, give us 3 games in a row of wins. And it's going to be a nail biter, though. That's what I'm predicting. We're going to have a bunch of mini. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it. There's Deebo Samuel on the screen getting away from us again. There's Brock Purdy scrambling for a 3rd and long. How do we let it happen? Oh, there's Kittle on a seam for a touchdown. And we're going to have a bunch of moments where we're like, gosh, dang it. But I think our offense will do enough. And I think we'll make enough plays where we'll be able to narrowly get a victory. As you pointed out, though, Mark, it is tough to play up there. Other than the backup bowl in week 18 last year, we have not won a game up there in quite some time. Other than I think Todd Gurley was going off for 3 touchdowns in 2018 when we were wearing the banana all yellow uniforms. I know some people like, some people hate. So it's been quite some time since we've had some real legitimate success in big meaningful games up there. But I think this Thursday, fingers crossed, that the Rams will do it, and I'm gonna bet that they would. Yeah.
Well, it's a consensus. Rams win. Hey, you're talking about Brock Purdy converting a 3rd and long. I was talking to my my son during the game last week, and I'd almost feel more comfortable with the Rams defense facing a 3rd and 6 than a 3rd and 16. I feel better about it for some reason.
I mean, you're not kidding, though. It's the freaking reality.
Oh man,
yeah,
there's been
brutal.
some.
Yeah,
but
it's brutal.
There's going to be some situations in this game where Brock Purdy's going to be running around back there on a 3rd down.
Yep.
And yeah.
It's inevitable. I mean, those are things we just do not defend well, but we're all banking here, Rams Nation tuning in, that the Rams will do enough to put the Niners season in the drain. Sayonara. We'll see you in 2025 when maybe, this team is completely blown up, as some Niners fans want. I'm sure they probably won't. They'll probably keep the band together at least one more year, it feels like. But that's our job. Put them in the dirt. Send them to Cancun, wherever, Cabo, wherever the hell they want to go for their offseason. Let's start those booking flights and vacation flights with their ladies, wives, and significant others a couple weeks early, starting on Thursday night football. And that would be a great sight to see. But before we get out of here, Rams Nation, Mark, any final thoughts? Paul, any final thoughts? Just take it away, gentlemen.
I'm going to make one guarantee in this game. Jared Verse and George Kittle are going to have words. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Way to go out on a limb there, Mark.
Jesus. Well, I mean, shout out to Verse. He's the ultimate shit talker, and I appreciate that energy, as we've been missing that, it seems. We have a lot of nice guys on defense. We need some animals.
Yeah, and Kittle, I love Kittle. He has a gift of gab as well. It's usually a little more lighthearted, but I think those two are going to have fun. Staring at each other across the line of scrimmage.
That'll be
That's going to be a great hot mic moment, man. I hope they catch a couple of those.
They'll have some car crash collisions in the run game. That's going to be crazy to see.
Kittle is probably one 49er I really like. I have to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a good player. He's a good player. Rams should have drafted him way back, but We got Puka in the 5th. They got George Kittle in the 4th or 5th. You know, it happens. It happens. But Paul, what are your final thoughts before we get out of here?
It's, sit back and enjoy, Ram Nation. This is what it's all about, right? Rams have to start talking about what the end goal is, get to the playoffs, get to the big dance. They got to start talking about it. There's nothing wrong with talking about it because if you can talk about it, you can visualize it. If you visualize it, you can make it happen. This is a great game to help them on that progression. And a nice little subscript here. Big Rig Higgs, full participant in practice. So hopefully they'll slowly work him in to the mix, maybe starting this week or next week. A couple plays here and there. Davis Allen did pop up on the injury report as well for shoulder, so we'll see how that works out. But that's a nice subscript for the Rams. What a boost that would be for the locker room to see the big dog out there and on the field. So something to look forward to.
So Allen could be inactive and Higbee rolls Thursday night.
We don't know. I think is it coincidental that all of a sudden one of their tight ends pops up on the shoulder with the injury report? He looked fine to me in the game, but we know how they use the injury reports in the NFL. One quick thing also, great observation, Rams Nation, if you want to go take a look at it. Rams did not run anything out of pistol this week against Buffalo, which is really, really interesting. So I'm curious to see how they play it. They had staff under center a ton, and then shotgun, walking back into shotgun. So something to keep track of, Ram Nation. Interesting game within the game.
Yeah, game within the game. And we hope all our Rams players who are banged up, Higbee, Kobe Durant, everyone else dealing with non-goods, I should say, are good to go and play on Thursday. But thanks for tuning in, Rams Nation. This is another edition of the Rams Up Roundtable here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. Roundtable number 63. Man, the weeks fly by. Share this video, like, subscribe, share it with all your fellow Rams fans. And we hope to see you very soon after Thursday Night Football with our post-game reaction with a Rams W, West Side style. And I'm hoping we see that. But I'm Ian. That's Paul. That's Mark. That'll do it here. We'll see you guys very soon. Go Rams, baby.
Feed the ground game. Boom, boom, boom.
Run the damn ball.
Ramley forever.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.